All right, I'm going to call to order the March 21st, 2024 Norton Select Board meeting. All five members of the board are in attendance, as well as James Coelho and Mike Units from the Town Manager's Office. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Peter.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, well, since it's my fault, we're all here at 6:30.
Thanks, Kevin.
I will try to explain what our only agenda item is tonight, which is a discussion and a vote on special town meeting article to amend the town charter. And if you remember, this actually came up, it was actually Steve and I's first town meeting. And the issue is around the town charter, the wording in the town charter, and the town manager's contract. And essentially the issue comes down to, there is a section, and I passed the language out to you guys so you'd have it. So first is the language change that I am proposing, and then also the current charter language. So the current charter language has a section in it regarding removal of the town manager, okay? And when you read that wording, it's pretty clear that that's intended to be for removal for cause. So, could be performance issues, could be something related to behavior, could be any of those types of things, okay? And that language specifies that in order to remove the town manager, you need to have a supermajority vote of the select board, or four votes, okay? In addition, it has other requirements attached to it. Again, you can kind of see that those are things that would be required if the town manager was being removed for cause. So, for example, you have to have a reason for the removal. Okay, you have to pass a preliminary resolution. You have to give the town manager the opportunity to have a public hearing, ostensibly to defend himself from being removed. And then you have to have a final removal, and then there's a final, resolution of removal, and then there's all these, within 10 days you have to do this, within 14 days you have to do that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to pause here and just make sure everybody's aware that I'm not bringing this up in any way as a reflection of the current town manager. Okay, so this is just something that is a inconsistency in between our charter and the town manager's contract that I feel like we need to address. All right, so that's what the charter says. Okay, the town manager's contract has a 1-year notification requirement, so we have to let the town manager know further than or more than 1 year before his contract expires that it's our intention to non-renew him. In the contract language, doesn't really say anything about supermajority, majority, or any other requirements other than it's a contract that expires, okay, after however long we've set it for. So, for example, the current town manager has a 3-year contract with us that expires June 30th of 2025. So what's happened recently is there was a case, and I don't know where it was. I've contacted town council to give me a little bit more background on this, but there was a case recently where there was a town manager who his contract ran out, and the select board did not vote to remove him, and the town manager pushed back and said, well, in the charter it says you have to do all these things in order to remove me. And the argument back was, well, that doesn't really count when it comes to non-renewal. That's a removal. And the argument that basically how it was resolved was the charter wins. Okay, so even though it says it doesn't have, say, the supermajority requirement or all these other things that are in the charter, that's what governs whether or not the town manager's contract can be non-renewed. All right, so I know you have questions, but that's the start of it. There's another section in the charter that gives the select board when the select board enters into a contract with the town manager, it has language in there regarding the term of the contract in the charter, and it just says it's basically at the select board's discretion. So what I'd also like to do is introduce language that would give the select board up to 5 years on a contract for the town manager. I feel like it should be memorialized in the charter that the select board has some bounds around it for how long they can give a contract to the town manager. I feel like 5 years is fair. I think many town manager contracts are 3 to 5 years. We don't want to say 3 years or 1 year, because I feel like that would put us at a competitive disadvantage in hiring a new town manager, because other towns are going to offer them 3 to 5 year contracts, and we wouldn't be able to do that if we went less than that. Okay, so those are the two issues that I presented, and the language that I presented tonight was to, basically in the section of the charter that mentions removal, that non-renewal of the contract, of the town manager's contract, does not apply to removal. So we're separating non-renewing a contract from terminating a contract early because of cause. Okay? And just a note, when we hire a new town manager, it's only 3 votes on the select board, and it's only 3 votes on the select board to renew the contract. Okay, so it seems to me to be fairly consistent that 3 votes to non-renew would be reasonable. And then you wouldn't have all these other hoops you need to jump through as well on a non-renewal. So we'll start there and ask for comments and thoughts on that.
I think this is perfectly aligned with common contract practice, and it cleans up the loopholes and makes things be more consistent. So, yeah, it makes sense to me.
And just real quick, I kind of started this thought and then didn't finish it. At the town meeting where you and I was our first town meeting, we basically passed this question over.
I
Because
motioned to pass it over.
there were a lot of questions, yep, and Steve made a motion to put it forth to another town meeting, so.
Yeah, I believe the reason I moved to pass it over at the town meeting was that, so it could come back and not get voted down. Because if it got voted down, there was confusion on if it could be brought back at any time soon, so.
Yeah, and it was a lot of good questions, and, you know, I think we'll be able to answer them this time if we put it in front of town meeting. Anyone?
So Kevin, what is, 2 questions, I guess. What is the impetus behind bringing this now, as well as, is KP?
So I did ask KP for they're working on a response to us right now, so I only asked Joe Fair at KP's office a couple of days ago to give us his opinion on what it is. The reason to bring it forth now is, it is kind of related to the current town manager, which is our current town manager's contract is up June of 2025. So if we were to give him a year notice of non-renewal, we would have to do that before June 30th of 2024. And then if we didn't do this, if this doesn't get through town meeting, then we're going to be in that same spot we were years ago, which is we have this inconsistency. And then the charter is going to, the charter is the law, so the charter is going to guide how we would go about non-renewing. In that case, it would have to be considered a removal under the town charter. Did I answer your question, Alex?
Mostly.
Okay. Meg, do you have any questions?
No, I think, again, it's straightforward. I think it's good to clean it up now.
Steve?
No, I think it's straightforward as well. I know at the town meeting where we discussed this, I think I was on board with the section 2 changes. I wasn't sure, I think initially it was a 3-year is what
Yes,
they first
thanks
said.
for bringing
Yeah.
that up. Yep, yep.
And I was kind of hesitant about that. I don't like to, you know, because we could want to hire a town manager for a 5-year contract. I think the concern initially was, you know, we're going to hire somebody for a 20-year contract, and that's just ridiculous. So.
Right, right. And I don't think that would ever happen, but I don't think.
I would never say that.
Well, you never know, right? So I think it's good for the town at town meeting to vote on whether or not the town has, had put some limitations on the length of the contract. I think 5 is reasonable,
Yeah, my only hesitancy is rushing it before the town meeting, but I understand the reasoning behind it, so,
Yeah.
no, that's my question.
Is there, we need KP's graces on it.
Yeah, so that's a question for you. So if we vote tonight to put it on the town meeting, we can always amend it, right, correct, at town meeting if there's anything that KP comes back with.
And you can amend or remove prior to
Yeah,
the warrant.
the warrant.
As I learned the hard way, amending it at town meeting is not the way to go, if some of you recall. Yeah.
The other thing is, I do know that KP reviewed the language 2 years ago, and I just used the same exact language.
Yeah, I think the only difference I saw was the 5 years.
Yeah, I moved
mean,
it
it's
from
word
3
for
to
word,
5
yeah.
years. Yeah. All right, if there's no other questions or concerns, I'll take a motion.
Make a motion to approve the revised charter of language as provided, as written.
You can read the whole thing.
That's the motion.
Or the motion to put it on the special town
Yeah,
meeting.
motion to.
Oh, I make the motion to put the revised charter language on the special town meeting, as warrant as written.
Second.
Okay, does that have a motion and a second? Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, new record.
Motion to close? Oh, wait, sorry, yes.
Yeah, we do have, we do have an announcement. Yeah, go ahead.
The spring egg hunt at the Wheaton College Chapel Lawn for this Saturday has been postponed to the following Saturday, March 30th, because of the impending weather. So the egg hunt at the Wheaton College Chapel lawn that was originally scheduled for this Saturday, the 23rd, is postponed to the following Saturday, March 30th, because of the weather.
All right. Thank you, Alec. All right, I will entertain a motion for the select board to go into recess until 7 PM.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?